everybody, and good day to you all. We're going to talk about AirServer. So AirServer is going to be the application that we use to help you show your iPad wirelessly. And so here's how that we're going to go about that. So first off, if you don't have AirServer, if you're not part of our South Belton campus, you need to go to AirServer.com and purchase your single user or campus user licenses. For us, if you work at South Belton, we'll make sure that you have a code or a registration number, and we'll go ahead, once you got it on your computer, we'll go ahead and go from there. So first thing is you want to find AirServer. So I have it down here in my dock, but let's assume that I didn't have it down here in my dock. You can find it either by starting from your launchpad and finding AirServer, or you can touch the magnifying glass and type in AirServer. Or you can do a spotlight search with Command Space, which is the same thing as magnifying, and say AirServer, and then hit Enter. And once it's open, you're going to find it in one of two places. You're either going to find it down here in your dock, or I'm going to go ahead and change this so we can see what it looks like. You may also find it up here at the top. Now notice this is an AirServer icon, and that is an AirPlay icon. We're going to be touching on this only. Now, I want everybody I think it's going to be easier and less of a hassle to go ahead and touch on preferences, and we're going to show that in the dock. So again, if you didn't see what I was doing there, I'm going to do this one more time. If you've got it up in the top, click on it, click preferences, and we're going to say show in dock, and then you can close this window. And so now it's going to be down here in the dock. The reason we're going to do that is because when we connect our computers to projectors, sometimes it shrinks for resolution. When it shrinks for resolution and we're using programs with 6, 7, or 8 different file menus up here at the top, it'll scrunch over everything up here in this top dock, including your AirServer icon, which you may not be able to find. So down here, it always stays there no matter what resolution you're at. So it's just a little handier down there. Let's go ahead and talk about our preferences. So we're going to click on preferences, and we're going to go to general. This is pretty much the only place that we're going to talk about. So computer name, you can see it's grayed out, but you can change it. If you'd like to change it to something a little bit shorter, easier for kids to find or you to find, if you want to make one that's a letter A or a number, sometimes it shoots to the top of the list of your AirPlay list. You can also touch here. You can scan that with a QR code for easier connection. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but you can sure give it a try. You can use the AirServer Connect app, which works, but also discovered that regular QR scanners will work as well. Everybody, always make sure that you are on a fixed password. Do not put it on no password, especially if you work at a middle school. And then go ahead and set it to something that only you know. Don't be giving it out. Great thing is if you forget your passcode or you think somebody else has it, all you have to do is touch right there, delete it, and then type in your new password. And it doesn't have to be the same thing, it doesn't have to be different, and you don't have to know it. You just click, you delete, and you put in a new password. So it's really handy. Okay, and might go over this later, but you can play around with it, the on-screen passcode. If I click on that and I try to connect to my AirServer, then I'm going to get a 4-digit passcode, kind of a PIN number that only works for me, and if somebody else tries to connect, then it will give them a random number. So that code that shows up will only is good for one person. So we're going to go ahead and click on that. So let's go ahead and connect so we can see what that looks like. Okay, so here's what that looks like. I'm going to scroll up from the bottom there to our command center, and you have to say it in that voice every time or it's not as effective. And then you're going to touch on AirPlay, so you have AirDrop and AirPlay. And you will see your computer name in that list. When you're at school, it's going to be a very, very, very long list, so make sure that you know what the name of your computer is. And you go ahead and touch on that, and then it'll show up either with a passcode, or it'll just go ahead and push you through if it already remembers it, and then you'll have an option to mirror. Now, because of the way this is set up, I'm going to go ahead and close this, and then we'll connect using AirServer. So now we are connected using AirServer. You can see that mirroring button now, and so if I turn that mirroring button off, it takes me back to my computer. If I touch iPad, it also takes me back to my computer. I can close this window, that'll take it back to my computer. I can also touch this maximize, minimize button, And we can keep our iPad just like this in the corner, or we can minimize it. So if we're teaching something and we need that to go away and we will look at our computer for a while, like let's go back to the iPad, then you can just open that right back up, double click on it, and you've got a full screen iPad ready to go. So seems pretty easy and it seems pretty nice. Just make sure that you have your projector plugged into your computer. That's the only way this works. Alright, so it seems easy, but network problems are going to happen. So let's talk about some of the troubleshooting that we're going to have. So first thing that you're going to want to do, go ahead and scroll up to your command center, and you want to touch that airplane icon right there at the bottom. That's going to turn all of your wireless signals off for just until you hit the airplane button again. Give it about 5 or 10 seconds, and you'll notice that the AirServer button down at the bottom disappears, and all you have is AirDrop. Once that happens, it's go ahead and safe to turn that airplane off and go back to your Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. Notice the AirPlay comes back up. See if your device appears. Second thing that you can always try is you can go up to your Wi-Fi settings on your computer, and you're going to want to turn your Wi-Fi off. Again, give it 5, 10, 15 seconds. Once you're done, turn it back on. Then go back to your device and see if your device is appearing yet. Still not appearing? Last thing to try, and this actually might be the first thing you want to try because it usually works better than all the other ones, is you'll want to go down to your AirServer icon or up wherever you put it. You're going to go to quit. So close it down. We're going to restart it. So remember, there's a couple ways. We're going to do it like this, and we're just going to go ahead and say start AirServer, and it's already started. It's down there in the dock, so we can go back to our iPad. We can scroll up and see that it's there. Be patient and check out the other video called If AirServer Stops Working, and good luck.